Today we're going through some crochet designers and patterns that I absolutely love. I'm doing this video on the back of a question box that I put in one of my Instagram stories asking for people's hot takes about knitting and crocheting, and my submissions were flooded with people saying that crochet is ugly, and I just simply don't agree with that. I think yes, it's such a personal preference and so subjective what you do and don't like, but to group an entire craft as ugly.
Am I ugly?
No, definitely not, bro. No. Definitely not.
I think it's a bit of an insane hill to die on. Like, yes, there are ugly crochet projects and patterns, but so are some knit projects, so are some sewing projects. It doesn't mean that I would go out there and claim that all sewing things are ugly or all knit things are ugly. I don't know why it's become so normalized to say that about crochet. I think it's rude and disrespectful, and it's just incorrect. So I'm here to chat about some of my favorite designers, some individual patterns that I wanted to share. If you genuinely believe that crochet is ugly no matter what, I'm not going to change your mind. That's your opinion. For all of those people who are interested to find more crochet designers that they might have not known before, or who like me love crochet and love to be inspired, then this is obviously also for you. First designer that I'm absolutely obsessed with is Katie Jocelyn. She's one of those designers that made me realize that it is okay for me to not focus on crochet patterns anymore, because there are people out there who do it so much better than me, and she's one of those. Her cardigans, her jumpers are incredible. She has a bunch of like smaller items, shorts and little filet crochet bralette tops as well, but I in particular am obsessed with these three cardigans slash jumpers. First of all, the crochet cable jumper pattern, this sort of cable stitch design which obviously imitates like knit cable jumpers, is so clever. And then I like the sort of rib, almost braid like look that goes down in the middle, and yeah, it's just so fun to see something like that in crochet. There's also the cable cardigan, and this is my absolute favorite. All the different like bobble stitch designs, and like there's just so much going on. I could stare at it for ages. Again, the different stripes going down, the sort of intertwined cables, and then the overall fit of it just looks really nice as well. Like, I love a good cropped boxy moment, you know. I also like her easy striped cardigan. I love anything striped, so you've got me there. But it just looks like a really nice, simple construction. The sort of button band is really cool, and the sort of slight like turtleneck, mock neck. Yeah, I love it. She's amazing and definitely one to follow. Then we have Earth by Morg, and I'm obsessed with her overall vibe. Like beachy, outdoorsy, I don't know, everything about her visual language I really enjoy. I have crocheted the Rio mini shorts and I actually styled them in one of my recent videos. I haven't worn them in a very long time, but I am really trying to bring them back. I want to take them camping with me this month so I get more wear out of them, because I do love them. And then all of her white tops are just incredible. There's a lot of lace going on, sort of a filet crochet inspired flair, but then also some of her older patterns, like the 70s cardigan is so cool. Also the open back tank I can totally see myself making and wearing. And she does a bunch of bundles, so you can just buy a whole bundle and make yourself an entire crochet wardrobe. Next up we have Cosmaldi, and I feel like for veteran crocheters out there, this is not going to be a new designer to you whatsoever, but there's a reason for that. She is absolutely incredible. She has the most amazing pattern catalogue. Every single pattern that I see her release or talk about or like tease on her Instagram always just looks so well fitted, and I think that can be like one argument against crochet, is that sometimes it is just a lot harder to construct things in a certain way, and patterns can oftentimes sort of turn out quite samey. But in her patterns, I see a lot of resemblance to knit patterns, not because the stitches and stuff look the same, but because she constructs jumpers in particular, I'm thinking of right now, in such a like just really, really good way. An example for that is the Dresden sweater, and just look at this sort of saddle shoulder-esque construction. It's just so good, and overall the fit is nice and oversized, but because of this saddle shoulder, the drop shoulder just fits really, really nicely. And then just like design wise, I'm obsessed with everything that she does. The penny shirt is just incredible. Again, anything striped, anything super colorful, I'm so there for. The triptych bandana is also so lovely. I often have a problem with bandanas, like when they're knit and crochet, they're really rigid and they kind of just like stand up, whereas this one I feel like really imitates the fabric bandana fit so well. And yeah, I mean, I could go on about her patterns for literally a whole video because there are so many of them and they're all incredible. So yeah, she's like one of the people that I think of when I think of like well made and well designed crochet patterns. Then we have Rose Swane. I feel like that is how you pronounce it. I never really know how to do the Scandinavian pronunciation. But she, again, is someone who I feel has a very strong visual language. This very playful, colourful, Scandi girl aesthetic I'm all here for. And there's some incredible patterns, like the disco belt is amazing. The Harlequin skirt, like this just like sparkly moment is lovely. The Flora Caprice I'm absolutely obsessed with. Her Copenhagen Fashion Week look with those on was just like impeccably styled. I'm obsessed with it. There are a few patterns that I actually can't really see on her website anymore, but she did the Alba cardigan, which I am still to this day completely obsessed with. Like the fit of it, the colours, the granny square in with the granny stitch. So cool. And then I think she recently came out with a new crochet book, which is all around like the circus or like party, I want to say. And I wish I could get that in the UK or get it translated. I know she has another book as well, but yeah, her new patterns are just so fun. And I think a lot of sort of criticism within the knitting community oftentimes is that everything is so basic and the same. You can't say that for crochet, and I just think that's funny to me, because if you want fun and quirky, then crochet evidently is maybe the one you should switch to. Or you don't even have to choose between the two. Like, learn to crochet and you can do all the fun things, and then you can do all the basic things with knitting. Then another designer who I am obsessed with is Shishi Fiber. I don't think she does patterns or anything like that, but I absolutely love looking at all of her designs just for like inspiration. She has a really good eye for colour. Mostly what sticks with me are her granny squares with mohair. Something I like just never really think to do, but she just does them so well, like this bandana scarf type thing. And literally the top comment there is, oh my god, you're so good at choosing colour combos. And she is. Like, all of her colour combos are elite. She made this really cute children's vest, which is just 2 granny square rectangles attached with like shoulder sections and side sections. It just looks so cute. I know it's nothing crazy. I know some people absolutely hate granny squares, but I don't get it when things like this exist. What do you mean you hate granny squares? That's the most fun thing ever. Same with this vest she made for herself, the 4 granny squares, and then attached with a just like a ribbon. So fun and so cool and so nice, and I want that in my life. Then we have Diamond Knitwear. They don't just exclusively do crochet. I want to actually say for the majority they do knit patterns. They do some fun crochet ones as well, or do they? I'm now going through their website and I can't see any. Okay, I have complete false memory here. They don't do crochet patterns, but they do some crochet ready to wear. So again, good for inspiration, not super helpful if you want exact patterns. There is the Bernardini sweater and the Bernardini sweater dress. They also, I want to say, did a cardigan. Here we go, Bernardini cardi. I haven't been on the website in so long, but yeah, it's basically all the same. I don't know why in my head I thought they had more crochet stuff. I don't know, this is really bizarre, but we'll do a more pattern specific or item specific inspo thing here. But yeah, the Bernardini range by Diamond Knitwear I really love, and it always like is at the back of my mind and always on all of my Pinterest boards and stuff. I just love the loose feel, the meshy feel, but because of the cotton yarn being used, it's still very like rigid and I don't know, like still covers a lot. if that makes sense. Every time I look at these, I just want to pass them on. I'm pretty sure actually on the Drops Designs website, there are very like similar patterns to these if you need like more of a size guide. I do think these are fairly easy to freehand. Obviously the stitch pattern is just like a row of, I don't know, say double crochets, and then the following row is a double crochet followed by a chain 1. So that stitch design in itself is super simple. I have a cardigan inspired by their cardigan that I made with scrap yarn, but the more I look at this, I just really would love to have just like a jumper, or the dress is so cool. Then we have Nastya Crochets. Again, I hope I'm saying that correctly. But they again have a super extensive pattern library with the cutest, most whimsical, very like cottagecore-esque patterns out there, both accessories, for wearables. There are also so many patterns that I love, like basically all of them, that I don't even know where to start. So we can do a quick like speed round. I absolutely love the willow bag. The Magdalena cape is brilliant. So fun and unique, and the vintage feel of that I'm obsessed with. The Lucy sweater, you've got lace and stripes, sign me up. The tulip scarf, I have no words. Like if I saw someone walking around with that scarf in town, I'd be so jealous. The Ushanka, again, hope I say that right. I love a little ear flap moment, hat moment. The ivy top, beautiful, lovely stitch design. The blooming bag, yeah, I want that. And also the crochet flowers, so cute. I love that motif on the front. There's so many more patterns, go check them out. They're incredible. Then I wanted to share Dina Leah. I'm getting really insecure about my pronunciation of these names, so please don't come for me. But she does lots of amazing accessories and like smaller items. Such a unique eye for design and just like innovation, like some really fun accessories, home decor, everything. She's done a range of like bouquets, flowers that you can make. I will be making this for sure. What do you mean you can crochet your own bouquet of flowers? And I have seen people do this before and I've always loved it, but it always felt really like unattainable. But she does a whole range of, she's got lilies, tulips, all sorts. For the people out there with cats, this is the one for you. Luckily my cat doesn't actually eat anything unless it's meat or fish, so I can safely have flowers in the home. But I would also love to have flowers that I don't need to chuck away every 2 weeks. So that is going straight on my list. In fact, maybe I'll even cast this on today because I'm sure I can find some yarn in some sort of colour variation that can work with some sort of floral design for these. And then the other pattern I wanted to talk about is the Tivoli tote bag. Oh my god, this is so incredible. Like this sort of diamond shape. I feel like the checkerboard trend has very much happened. There's many patterns out there that feature this, but this is such an original and different take on it. I also love how thick those straps are. Like that looks like a good sturdy bag. Then there are the amazing patterns by Ilona. These are more of like the knit-esque aesthetic that people often go for, like a very wearable, practical, stylish piece. She does that so well. The Morphea top in particular really like caught my eye. This sort of wrap and then drape asymmetrical design is really interesting. I also love the Celia bonnet. Again, like this mohair lacy sort of feel. I really need to go for more. I love that. And the Ivania cardigan, this little like peplum shape, I'm obsessed with. I love anything that kind of like goes in them at the waist and then flares out a little bit. But yeah, lots of like really good wardrobe staple pieces that will just fit in really nicely with like anyone's daily wardrobe. Then there are the patterns by Juicy Loose, and the pattern that I'm really obsessed with by her is the Harbour hat. It is so cool, again from like a construction point, but I also just love the colours that she chose. It also has some little straps at the bottom. This is really cute. Again, very tempted to make that. And then I also just love the kind of like holiday range almost that she did. The Camille cardigan, the Kiki dress, the Margot jumpsuit, all items that I totally see people buying in shops to wear on holiday. And yeah, she's got the patterns ready there for you to make them yourself. All right, I've got 3 more designers to share with you before we look at the specific patterns that I wanted to share as well. We have Twiles Crochet, and I think the most recognizable pattern probably from this designer is the striped top. I've seen this like all over Instagram, all over socials. This sort of V-neck, drop shoulder, bat wing-esque construction, and it's a free pattern. All of her patterns are free. What? That is crazy. And she's got video tutorials to go alongside. I only knew the patterns from seeing them on Instagram, but I had no idea they were all free. That is absolutely incredible. You've got a bunch of patterns here that you can follow along, do the tutorial. Also, one thing they don't have a pattern for that I really love is this skirt they made to go alongside the striped top. It really reminds me of the skew skirt that I recently tested by Filthy Knits. This sort of low waist and then really frilly, frilled out asymmetrical moment is so cool. So yeah, if you liked the skew skirt when I showed it in my styling video, then this is a fantastic crochet options. Like I said, I don't think there's a pattern for it, but maybe if you're able to freehand self-draft things, then this is a great inspo moment for that. Also, this filet crochet skirt is so lovely. Wow. Yeah, some incredible crochet designs. If you're a big fan of colour work, especially within knitting, then the designs by Hedwig and Ingrid are the ones for you. They have a range of the cutest colour work tote bags, especially the Finfish one is incredible. And they also turned that into a jumper. And I feel like, again, you don't see this sort of like colour work design in crochet wearables. Same with the Astrid Flower dress or the Nora Flower cardigan. They are all incredible. I love doing colour work and knitting as well, so I'm sure that these are super, super fun to work on and so original, like just completely different, something you don't actually see a lot of in crochet, I find. And then another designer that I feel like I probably don't need to introduce to a lot of you people, but it is Cuckoo Crochet. And once again, the largest, most incredible pattern library there is. I especially love the Xena vest. That's such an original like lace square design, and they do a lot of those, like all sorts of lacy designs. I also really love the Susie vest. This is one that really drew me in. I love how like square it is, like it just looks like the perfect gilet, you know? The Quinn sweater is also incredible. The way the patterns kind of go out in this like, what do you call it? Yeah, whatever this shape is called, the way they go out in all directions is amazing. And yeah, so many incredible designs. I can just keep scrolling. In fact, I am, and just every single thing looks incredible. Right, that is all the designers I wanted to talk about, and then I have some very specific patterns that I just always look at, particularly when I pin them on my Pinterest board. I'll often go on there and I'm like, what would I like to crochet now? And these are the things that like I always come back to. I never do them because I doubt myself, and I'll start like a different like knit project probably instead. But yeah, keep coming back to these designs. First off, we have the damask top by Vert Knits, and it's no secret that I love a granny square, but again, the granny square has just been done so differently, such an original way of doing the granny square without being like over the top, you know, like without overcomplicating things. They're just a lot smaller. I like the really clean line at the front as well, where the closures are, and yeah, it's just a really neat little pattern. Then we have the Tilda vest by Festnets, and this is like my absolute favorite. I think this shape has become super popular this summer as well, but I think for a valid reason. Like this sort of cut off here, almost like a little bit wider than the tank top I'm wearing, and like a high neck. I love that fit so much, and I've pinned this pattern from various people making it, from various listings that they've created for this pattern on my Pinterest multiple times, because I just love it. The stripes are so cool, the buttons are amazing. Yeah, I should just really make one of these. I don't know why I'm procrastinating it, because I've been obsessed with this for so long, and I'm sure I have the yarn for it as well. Then there is the Gemma poncho by Nat's Record. I again scrolled past this many times on Pinterest. I just really like the stitch pattern of it. It's not just like the box standard meshy fabric. You can tell there's intention being put into the stitches, and then the tassels at the bottom are great as well. I also just love the colour of it. I think the colour works really well with this sort of design. And I am now realising this is a free pattern, so you can just do that for free, which we love to see. If I didn't already have my knit ponchos and I wanted to crochet one, I'd do this one 100%. Then there is the Stella dress by It's Maya's Life, and I looked on Etsy and I don't think they sell the pattern for it anymore. I just think they haven't relisted the listing, but I've spoken about this before. I've seen this on Pinterest, not realizing there was a pattern for it, and I just love it. I love the A-line shape, the V-neck. Usually I'm not a V-neck person, but I think with a A-line shape it works quite well. And then the scalloped edge around the bottom and the side seams as well. It's just so cute. I love it so much. I hope they do relist this at some point. It would be great. I do think you can freehand it, but obviously it would be a lot nicer to just support the original design. I think a lot of like crochet designs, especially when they're like lacy and stuff, they can be very tight fitting. So I love seeing something that's just, you can just chuck on, it's loose for the summertime. If you make it in a nice cotton linen blend, it'll be super breathable. And then the last pattern I wanted to share is the Jamie shirt by Lanka by Me. And yes, I know again it has the stripes, but I like what I like. What can I say? But this is so cool. I love how they've integrated the solid stripes and then the sort of lacy chain stitch design, and then on top of that the construction's really cool. How it has the collar, like it looks like a proper sort of like polo neck, I guess. And yeah, just the way the stripes are matched to the different stitches, I like it very much. I think it's a very cute design. Right, that is everything that I wanted to share. If I haven't convinced you by now that crochet isn't ugly and can be really nice, like if you genuinely thought all of the things I shared in this video are ugly, then I feel like you need to seriously broaden your horizon, because it seems like a you issue that you seem to hate crochet so much. I highly doubt anyone still watching this video at this point will feel that way. So in that case, I hope I was able to share some designers you didn't know about. I'm sure a lot of them you already know about. There are so many more designers out there that I'm somewhat aware of. I just don't like interact with their content very much, or their designs. It's almost a bit overwhelming to think how many like different niches and styles there are out there. So if there are any favorite designers that you think need to be known about more, leave them in the comments and people can have another look through and just find like more and more designers, more patterns. Also, if you've made any patterns that you really enjoyed making and you get a lot of wear out of them, again, leave them below, share them with people. I always find like so many people that I've never even heard of before from people sharing them in the comments. So yeah, always appreciate that. I'm gonna leave you guys here. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.